good alignment of those feet in a parallel position. And then I just feel that connection continuing up through the strength of my body. Right? We think of a warrior, we think of a strong warrior spirit. And in that, we want to think about that strong warrior heart and that strong warrior body, that strong warrior mind. And in yoga, we bring all of those together, right? To strengthen them, to make them a little more pliable and flexible, and to make them a little more determined. So nice and tall with your bodies upright. And just feel the strength that flows through you, through your blood, through your breath, through the movements of your body as you breathe. That external movement that you can feel and see. The internal flow that you may be able not to see or feel, but you know that as you breathe, that adds fire, energy, strength to fuel that warrior spirit. Warriors are not always hard, not always tough. Warriors are strong, but gentle as well. Finding that nice balance. So find that balance in your breath with a few more deep, slow, full, strong yet gentle breaths. A warrior spirit of unfortunately that a hummingbird spirit, spirit of the south. Let your hands come down, palms towards me, mind towards you. And let's lift up just to shoulder height. Inhale. From here, let's just take ourselves, upper body just comes over. So we're not letting our arms displace from the shoulder positioning, okay? We're just letting our upper torso come over. Then bring yourself back into center, into balance. And then take yourself over in the opposite direction. As you do, continuing to let your arms expand out. Farther and farther. Bring yourself up. Inhale. Take your hands forward and interlace. Tuck in, chin to chest. And then push those hands away from you. So you feel the shoulders opening. Feel your spine really pulling in and making this little cocoon-like coming into self. And then slowly rising up as you do, letting arms expand out and coming back to the sides. Lengthen them out. Let's do that again. Come on over. Hanging out here, connecting with the earth, with your feet, connecting strongly with your chair, connecting strongly with the air, and then bring yourself up. Because we're suspending ourselves here. We're suspending ourselves in air, right? We have to have strength here. If we let go of the strength of our core right now, we would just fall right over to the side. Something's holding us up from doing that. That's the strength. Bring yourself up. Inhale. Exhale, take your hands forward as you begin to curl into yourself and you begin to interlace, maybe in the opposite way. Push away from you. Feeling biceps by your ears, chin to chest, head really letting it go. Open up the back side of that neck. And then slowly unfurling, opening up, inhale. And then bring your arms on up straight. Lengthen both sides of your body, looking up. And then bring into cactus arm, one arm, pull it down as the other one expands up. Lengthen. And releasing arms, both up. And then pull down here on this side as the other arm lengthens up. Inhaling and then exhale, pull down. Inhale, lengthen the other side up. Pull down a little bit more and another exhale. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, pull down, opposite arm, other one reaches on an inhale. Exhale, pull down a little bit more. Inhale, a little bit more. And then bring both arms up, inhale. Cactus arms, both arms down, pull both elbows into your side body. Let your heart open. Tip your head back to places comfortable for you. Squeeze into those shoulder blades. Straighten that spine. Lift your arms up. Interlace at the top. Push away. Take ourselves over to that side again. Extending out. Hanging in space. Good for the obliques. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, take it on over. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, releasing hands. Come on down. Cactus. Pull down. Look up. Squeeze. Inhale. One more time. Pull down. Let your warrior heart come forward. Yourself up. Interlace opposite way. Push away. Come on over. Stretch. Depth. Length. Inhale, lift. Push on up. Exhale, take it on over. Push away. Lengthen. Depth. Inhale, rise. Release. Exhale. 2 times cactus. Hold it. Rise up. One more time. Let yourself come down. Take your hands on down behind you. Interlace again. Behind your base of your spine or on your hips or waist, okay? If this is a little much for your shoulders, please just take it to your waist. Take your shoulders, squeeze them together to the place that feels, again, right for you. Bring yourself forward with a straight spine, no rounding, okay? Straight length, and then bring yourself back. Press down, open up your heart, inhale. So we will let our spine round here when we pull back. We'll come into straight and we'll keep it straight as we come forward. Press down into feet, press down into fists, let the heart expand. Come into straight spine, bring yourself forward. Bring yourself back up on an inhale, exhale, push down, heart lifts. Let's do that one more time, coming into straight spine. Bring yourself, maybe it's an inch or 2, 4, 5, 6 inches low with a straight spine. Bring yourself up and let your heart open wide. See your hands, let them come down, and let's take some circles. And eyes on up. Lift up. Look up. And take them in the opposite way. Go hands here. Show. It's one from a dance I've never really taken to. It's beautiful, but I've never really practiced it. Take one hand onto the front leg of your chair, let the other one just hang here, okay? And let your body come over and be supported by that chair leg. Pull that upper shoulder back just a bit. Take yourself down as your body allows, as gravity allows, really feeling that contraction on one side of the body and that opening on the other side of your body. Lift yourself up with your core strength. That's what's lifting you up, okay? Other hand comes, slides down the leg of the opposite side. Just let the other arm hang. Both arms actually hanging. The upper shoulder back just a bit. Let your breath and gravity take you a little lower if your body says yes. And then through the strength of your core, bring yourself back up. Good. Take both hands on the legs of the chair. Let yourself come forward, keeping some form of your fingers connected to the legs of the chair. Come to a flat spine. Hold on to the legs of your chair. Let your strength come into your hands here. Let your strength come into your feet. Let your strength come back through your tailbone, out through your crown, as you have this really straight spine that is being supported and lengthened even more by the grip that you've made on the legs of the chair. Really extend here. And then go ahead and bring yourself back. Take your hands here on your sides, slide them to your knees. Let's do our cow and cat. It's that beautiful hummingbird that's come with us into this warrior series and curl up round. When you think about what we're doing now, cow and cat, how can they be symbolized as warriors? Well, without getting too graphic, think about the cow and what it's bred for, how it lives its life. And then what happens at the end? It's not always a very sacred ceremony, as were once upon a time done with deer, buffalo, elk, other animals that people would eat to sustain their life. Cows are warriors too. And cats, those of you that have had cats, what kind of little warriors they can be. Howling and fighting in through the night. They're outside cats. Part of their nature. I remember one little, just keep going here, a little kitten that stood its ground against one of my biggest dogs I ever had. And the dog backed off. Sacrificed warrior. And then bring yourself back up to sitting straight and tall. All right, let's go through seated, the 3 sets of the different warriors, warrior 1, warrior 2, and initiating warrior 3, okay? And then we'll do them standing with chair support. So I'm gonna come over to the side of my chair and my knee is facing away from me, or I guess towards me, that's the way my body is. And my other foot, my other leg and foot are going to, they can stay here if that's more comfortable for you. Or if you want to feel more like what warrior 1 would feel like, you're going to take that leg and stretch it behind you, lengthening it and finding that foot at about a 45-degree angle. When you do this, your hips and your shoulders turn more forward. But again, if you just want to keep that leg right here, please do. Okay. So warrior 1, we are facing our fears. We're facing our opponent here. And I like to think about that as looking in the mirror. Full length mirror, facing my fears, facing myself, facing my opponent. And you think, how can you be your own opponent? Sadly, most of us are, right? All that battle that's going on in our brains, okay? And not always directing us in the way we really want to go. So let's face that and let's see if we can come into a real strong stance here, lifting arms up, pressing into both feet, however you decided to have this leg, again, either bent or back, press into both, right? As if pressed hard enough, strong enough, you would get yourself out of that chair. Okay? Have your shoulders forward, have your arms reaching up. And this is not like I surrender, I give up in the way that you would think about it. It's that I surrender to that which is my greatest good. That's our battle. Sometimes we battle against what our greatest good is. We reach up high, we ask for that from the heavens, we look up, and then we pull that energy down, taking ourselves with an open heart to the sky, elbows come down, we gaze up with our petitions, and then we lift up in heaven. Lengthen, we pull down that energy, strengthening ourselves for a better good. Inhale up. And now I'm going to take my left hand or my hand of the leg that's behind me or to the side, and I take it onto that leg, sliding it down or on as I lift up my right hand, or whichever hand you're raising up right now, reaching up, letting your heart ask for what it needs to, and then bringing both arms up and exhale, pulling down and lifting heart space. Feeling stronger and stronger. And now I'm taking my opposite leg, opposite arm behind me. That's the one of the leg that's forward. And I'm going to press down into the chair behind me, almost so much that I can lift myself out of the chair. And I'm going to lift my heart up again. Raise my opposite hand up so that I'm really easy up, that I'm seeing the truth that lies in me. Bringing myself up, we're reaching for the light, both arms, bring it on down, let that light surround me, color me, bring me out of some of that darkness. Darkness is sometimes what I face in my fears. Pull down. Exhale, take your hands to your hips or interlace behind you again, depending on what your shoulders do. If your legs gets tired, extending back like this. Come onto the ball or bend into your knee a little bit, okay? So that you don't cramp up. And let's go ahead and squeeze shoulders together, letting your heart rise up, and then bringing myself forward, maybe just an inch or two, okay? Or taking a forearm onto that front thigh, and maybe my hand onto a block as I start to lower myself down, letting my head come to the heart level, or maybe even lower, so that I come into humbleness now. Because pride is a big element that gets in our way. My way, at least. Pride and ego, let it go. Let us be able to say, I'm sorry to myself, I'm sorry to others. Let your heaviness in that head go. Let yourself breathe in your humbleness here. And then raising yourself up, back onto arms lifted forward and up. One more time, practice. Take that energy down with heart up. Gather. Then exhale, hands come to that front thigh. Bring in that back leg if it's not already in like this. And then let's go ahead and take ourselves to the front of our chair. And before we go into the other side, which you know we'll always do one side or the other, let's go ahead and just let our legs come in and then let them separate out. Sides of my feet, inside of my feet, exhale, outside of my feet, okay? Flat feet, and then just take yourself and open. Going through that neutral place so you can really get a sense of where your feet are. That's important when we're working through the different techniques for the warriors. Now we'll go ahead and work into the other side, okay? So treat this side like you treated the other. So if this leg stayed here, great, let it stay there. If you let it come back, I never mentioned this, but it's certainly, and hopefully you guys might have done that anyways, it could have come down like this too. So if you didn't do that before and you think that would work for you now, go ahead. Since I forgot to mention this, this is also a good technique right here. And then maybe you won't get as much of a, maybe you've got a cramp holding that leg back, or just it seemed to be a little bit much. So take what seems right for you. Big thing right now is shoulders forward, hips forward, and this knee again can be straight back or bent on block or forward towards me. Press your hands into your thigh a little bit so that we can now look in this other direction of ourselves. Smiling this time into our fears, into feeling stronger. We're feeling more capable. And less fear. It really is the base of almost all those negative emotions. We tend to look at ones that are troubling, right? Anger, jealousy, and fear safe. Arms up, look into that mirror. Take a smile at your fears, and then bring your arms down into the heart, up to that beautiful half moon still in the sky. I'm looking at that. Lift, lengthen, side body. Same hand as the leg that's behind you comes down. Or maybe it's that leg that's inside of you. Wherever it is, slide it on. Open the heart. what it is that you want to have that strength. Let yourself come up, both arms lifted, lengthen. Practice arms, pull down, open arms. Other hand comes down. That's the hand of the leg that is forward of your direction. In, press down into the chair behind you. Lift. Find more length in your torso. Straighten your body. Bring ourselves back. Let the other arm come back up in. Exhale, pull down. Here for a humble warrior, either again clasp behind you and slowly bring yourself down, or more support here with forearm on your thigh, other hand on a block, slowly letting yourself come at least to the level of your heart if you can. No worries if you're not. And then take yourself lower, those of you that feel comfortable taking your head lower than your heart. Let it go. Breathe. In this inversion, in this upside down way, that helps us to look at life and things in a different way. Sometimes that's all a warrior needs to do, is have a different perception. Maybe see through the eyes of another. When we do, those so-called enemies disappear. They dissipate. They become more human. Slowly lifting yourself back up. Maybe they're not even enemies, right? I don't like to think that any of us have those, but they are. Go ahead and lift back up. People we have conflicts with, lifting, pull down, exhale. One more practice. That are difficult to be around. Hands come onto your thigh. Let's straighten your spine. And then let's bend into both knees and bring ourselves into a forward sitting mode. And I'm going to show you how we can initiate Warrior 3. We'll come back to Warrior 2, sitting in the chair. And we're going to try it also standing with the chair as a structure. This time I want to take one leg behind me. So see how far back you can take a leg behind you. Okay. So I'm kind of letting myself come to the side of the chair. One leg is forward grounded, the other is behind me, bent or straight. Okay. Find where you're wanting, able to go. So Warrior 3 is a balancing pose where you're just on the front leg. Okay, no chair, just a front leg, but we're not going to go do that. But I want to show you an adaptation of it. So here we're going to be strong in both legs. We're going to act like we're going to lift that back leg up, but we're not. Okay, we're going to take our arms up, interlace, and just cross thumbs. Index finger is long. And then I start to bring my body forward. Only come a little bit, all right? Because you're not supported at all here, right? So don't come down so far that your lower spine starts to feel like it's taking too much. Just a little bit, but lengthen. Push through both feet. Lengthen through your fingers. Biceps by your ears. Breathing. And then take your hands to the chair and take those blocks that you have, if you have them. If not, take your hands to the ground or to your shin. And then that back leg, so now I've got weight on the blocks. And I'm going to push into that back leg, push into the standing foot. And then I'm just going to lift myself a little bit out of the chair, okay, so that I'm balanced on the ball of that back foot and my front foot. And then I'm going to take myself back down. I'm going to lift myself back up. Only if you feel you want to, take one hand and extend it forward while you're out of the chair. And then place it back on the block. Place yourself back on the chair. Then push through your feet. Lift out of the chair again, just an inch or two. Let your other arm come forward if you want. Just to practice initiating the little pieces of Warrior 3. Hand to block. Bring yourself back into the chair. Okay? And then hands on the chair, supporting yourself back upright. That's a lot. So make sure you're making any kind of needed modifications for you, okay? And just getting sometimes the inference, right? The reference point without actually going there. So now I'm going to scoot to the other side of my chair, right? With one foot forward. And I'm looking at alignment always on that. Foot straight, ankle, knee, hip. The other leg is going to come behind me. Now I might have a bend in that leg. That's okay. Maybe I can extend it back all the way. Find where you're at, okay? And get a straight spine to begin with. When we start in our Warrior 3, we always start in a Tadasana pose so that we make sure we're stable. Go ahead and interlace your fingers in the opposite way. Lift your arms on up and be like an arrow here. From here, just come forward maybe an inch or two. Press into your feet, the ball of that back foot. And maybe that knee is bent, that's fine. But on the ball of that foot and on that front, whole entire sole of your front foot. Let yourself come forward like that arrow, lengthen the side body. Breathe here. You're suspending yourself again, right? We did that side suspension earlier. Now we're forward suspending. Bring yourself up slowly. Exhale, hands come slowly down. And now I'm going to take my hands on the blocks. I'm on the higher part of my block. I'm on that solid front foot. I'm on the solid ball of my back foot. I'm going to press into those feet, lift myself off of the chair. So I'm not coming up very high, just a couple inches, right? But I can feel myself suspended on my own feet and the blocks. Then I'm just going to lower myself back into the chair. Exhale, inhale, lengthen just a little bit more through my spine, lift myself off of the chair. Feel myself really connected to the blocks, to my feet. One more time down. Bring yourself up. If you want, one arm extends forward. Almost like you're shooting yourself forward here. And that hand comes down. Take yourself back into the seat. And then bring yourself to your feet, extending a little bit into that back leg. To do that, the other arm can come forward. And down. And let yourself come down. Okay? And then bring your feet up, your spine up. And let's take ourselves into just a seated mountain pose. before we go any farther. That's a lot, you guys. Those warrior 3 preps are a lot of strength in the core and strength in our heads. So strength right here. All right, let's take our arms up, inhale. And exhale, just take hands past them at heart center. Gentle warrior spirit. Creating that circle of energy around us. That protective shield. Warriors need to be protected also. In my danza, it's the danza azteca that we do is the warrior style. And we all have a shield. Carry that shield in our left side, cover our hearts. We carry and shake our sanaha, our rattle, in our right hand. Exhale, bring it on down through heart center. Take your hands down onto your thighs. And now we're going to do warrior 1 and 3 standing. And we'll see if we have time for warrior 2 today. If not, we'll definitely get that in on Thursday. So let's go ahead and take a stand. And let's just shake out those hips. Shake out that waist. Shake out those shoulders. Just let everything go. Right? It's kind of like the soldiers, right, that are warriors, I guess, the ones that are posted places. If they stand too much erect for too long, they're going to pass out, right? We've got to have time to let go and relax. So hopefully that's time that you guys find for maybe dancing, right, or something like that. Okay. Let's work on our warrior 3 first. So we're going to do it 2 ways. We're going to do it with the high side of our chair towards us. Tell myself, drink more water, drink more water. Remember, whenever we're working here, we don't ever want to pull that chair towards us. We're pressing down. If that's a sharp edge, you want to put a blanket there, you can do that. What we're going to do here is we're going to first just walk ourselves back so that we have that long spine. Okay. And we have our long arms. And this is what we were attempting to do when we were seated in the chair and we were like this. And I said, just come down a little bit like this. All right. We're not going to leave our hands away from the chair though. We're going to keep our hands here on the chair. We're going to let our right foot stay grounded and just slide the left one behind you so that you're on the ball of that back foot. This could be your warrior 3 right here. Don't have to lift your foot off the ground. Warrior 3 can just be here on the big toe or on the ball of your foot, your back foot, or you can begin to lift it up a little bit. I'm running into part of my lattice here, but I think I can do a little bit here. You don't want to go any higher than your hip. Where you would practice forward. And again, that can be way down with the toe, big toe, okay? Then bring that foot back towards the other, bend into both knees, shake your hips a little bit, and then lift up, walk yourself forward towards the chair, hold onto the chair or press down, let your hips come forward, let your heart reveal itself. And then come back to straight spine. Let's walk back again. He's decided to join us here. walking back. Leave left foot grounded this time, okay? Left foot staying grounded. Slide the right foot back onto the ball of that back foot, keeping hips in alignment, or maybe to the big toe. Maybe practicing just lifting that foot a little bit off the ground, or taking it to a height that you feel comfortable sustaining. Finding strength, warrior strength now in your left leg and in your right leg for the balancing factor. Both are assisting you in that. And your arms are strong, back is strong, gaze is strong, bend into the standing leg, press the other one down. If it's not already there, bring both feet in and walk up towards the back of the chair. And press down into the top of that chair. Let your hips come forward. Heart rises, gaze does too. Take yourself long and tall here. Right. And now let's go into warrior one. Same position with the chair. I'm going to leave my right foot forward, take the left foot back, and I want to bend into that right knee so that I see the knee and the ankle in alignment. Yeah. And I've got that back leg so that that foot is out. Make, have your feet as wide enough as possible to feel like you've got your balance. And your back foot is at about a 45-degree angle. So the toes aren't towards me, right? They're not towards the back. They're not completely forward. They're in between, forward and side. And we're pressing into the top of that chair. As I do, I feel that here in my left hip flexor, right? And here I am facing my fears again, facing forward, hips, shoulders. Only if you feel like it. Take one or both arms up. You can keep one down and keep going back and forth, working on that balance. If you truly feel you have the balance, you're safe. That's the most important thing. Lift both arms up. Then you take one or both arms into your cactus as we did earlier. Let your heart come up. Only look up if you have your balance, because that's going to challenge your balance a bit. And then lift up here. And now take your right hand back to the chair. Left arm is up, left leg is back. Okay. And then I'm going to take that left hand down, slide it down that back leg. Lets my heart open a little bit. And I can keep my hand right there on that chair, or I can lift it up, only if balance allows. Expressive warrior one. Comes down, other one comes around and joins it. The left hand stays down, the right one lifts up and then bends and comes back behind me, maybe behind my waist. Before, when we're in the chair, we could press into the chair. We don't have that. So maybe just let it hang, or you wrap around, or take it to your hip. That could be a really good place to get some leverage there. Okay. Connecting there, I can let my heart expand upward. My fingers press down into the chair, not pulling it back towards me. And then I lift up. Both hands come to the chair. And now I'm going to take my body, instead of facing it towards the chair, come out a little bit. I'm going to take my forearm to my thigh. And I'm going to stay right there. Or if I feel like I have the balance or I have a block to use, I start to take my spine long, take it to about the level of my heart, or maybe not that high or low, could be higher. And then only taking head lower than heart if your body allows. If that's okay for your heart. Coming into humble warrior. Maybe some of you are able to keep your hands behind your back and bring your arms over. Whatever you're doing, think about the things you want to let go of and release. And then slowly bringing yourself up, especially if your head was lower than your heart. Back to thigh, back to chair, shoulders, hips, everything forward again. And then one more time, one or both hands lift up, lengthen, pull down into cactus, only looking up if your balance allows. It's challenging to lift your gaze, you guys. So be easy on yourself, be safe. Come down. And then I'm bringing the front back foot forward to meet the front. Shake it out a little bit. Okay? Shake those hips. Yes, we have one more side to do. And then I'm going to leave my left foot forward. I'm taking right behind me as I bend into my left knee and left ankle. Find their alignment. My back foot comes down and I spread those feet apart as wide as it takes for me to feel I've got good balance. Okay. And I'm on that flat of my back foot at that 45-degree angle. So my hips are mostly forward, shoulders are forward. Pressing down into the chair ignites all the way through my front part of my hips. Okay, the more I press down there, it ignites my core too. And then one at a time, hand up. Practicing that or taking both hands up. If you really have that good solid foundation, your lifting of both hands may feel like you are able to do that. No problem, no issues there. Otherwise, one hand at a time. Pull down, elbows, lift heart, only gazing. If your balance allows, and you'll notice when you do gaze, you'll start to feel the little wobbly. And then bring yourself back up, arms here. On the chair. Let's take both back to the chair. I'm going to leave my left hand pressing down on the chair. My right hand comes behind me, slides down that back leg. My heart automatically lifts into that good, giving, warrior, loving spirit. And then bringing myself up. Both hands rise up, one at a time. And one at a time, bending into cactus. And gaze up if that feels appropriate for you. Right hand stays on that chair. Take the left one behind you or on your hip, like that. Right here or right here. Press down. Lift up. Only lifting that hand off the chair. That's good for you. Hand back on the chair. Both hands on the chair. Bend into that front elbow and lay your forearm right there on your thigh. Take that block to the center as we let our bodies come over that angle and slowly lower, holding on to the chair, holding on to the block, taking yourself to your heart level, or maybe not, maybe higher than that, or if you're feeling comfortable to take your head lower. Really focus on a strong core if you're coming into an inversion. Okay. Breathing. Letting your heavy head go with all of the nonsense. Sleeves and just twitter around. Need to go away. No service. It's all wrapped in ego. All wrapped in fear. Bring yourself up. Take your hands to the back of the chair. And arm or arms can lift. One more time, warrior two. One more time, cactus arms, heart lifts. Sorry, warrior one. We haven't done warrior two today. Arms lift up, hands come back. Before we leave here, take that front leg back and walk back. Find that nice long spine. High in the balls of your feet. And just move your hips a little bit here. And let your heels come down with still bent knees. Let your heavy head in. Lifting it up, biceps by your ears. Let's walk forward to the back of your chair. Release your hands. Stand and breathe in mountain pose. All right, let's get back into the chair as we know it. Sorry. Back into the chair. So Thursday we'll work in warrior two, and we'll also work with warrior one and the others at the lower level of the chair. So you know, in case you don't want to come because it's like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. For fair warning. And also wanted to talk a little bit about the term fearless. Okay. I'm not sure that we want to be or need to be fearless. I'm not sure there's such a thing. But what we want to do is to face those fears and be strong as we look into whatever those fears might be, not running away from them. Okay. So if we always like trying to reach fearlessness, that's like trying to reach perfection. And I don't think they exist. So it's okay. You know, it's like, all right, I know this is a fear of mine. Let me look at it. Let me acknowledge it. Let me work with it. Let me see what I can do in my own warrior way to figure that one out. Okay? It takes time. All right, let's sit in a nice mountain pose here. Feeling like our bodies probably worked a little bit harder than they have some of the other classes. And that's okay. Sometimes we have that too. And I'm just taking, because my wrists feel like a little for this. And I'm just making some figure eights with each wrist. I'm going to try to reverse that direction. Shake out your hands. Lift up and exhale. Let it roll. I'm done. Okay. One more time each side. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind me. Nice straight spine. And then pull the back shoulders. Reversing. 4 sets, cow and calf. And then just finding yourself with that straight spine again. Let your hands come over to the sides, fingers dropping down, just slightly curl, natural way, rising up. Exhale down into heart center. Thumb aligns with your sternum, the center of your sternum, where the thymus is. Part of your heart is underneath it too. Strong shield of our sternum and our rib cage that protects our inner organs. So let's thank our warrior spirits and our warrior hearts, our warrior minds, and our warrior bodies for joining us today. This yoga practice is my warrior heart to yours. Thanks, you guys. Namaste. And may we all find what we need to